What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the current events that are going on right now and talk about the new leagues that have rotated. Now, you guys may be wondering where I've been at. I took some vacation with my wife. We got away, first time away from the kids in 2 years since they were born. So it was some nice needed time off, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to get this video out to you guys yesterday when all this stuff dropped. But hey, we're one day late, but that's okay because there's a lot of great things in here. Now, you guys may have noticed, if you've been paying attention to YouTube or social media, that Shadow Lugia is now in the game, which is very cool. It started yesterday, and I'll kind of zoom in here, November 9th, and we don't know when it ends. So this is going to be very important. Firstly, you want to get yourself this Lugia. Granted, it's not the cool Lugia that we were kind of hoping for from the main series game, but Shadow Lugia is pretty monstrous in the Master League. Secondly, that's going to be from Giovanni. You're going to get the Lugia from Giovanni. Secondly, the bonuses. You guys can TM away just using a normal charge TM. You can TM away frustration from Shadow Pokemon who have that move. So now is the time. We do not know when the next event is going to be, and it has been a long time since the last ability to TM away frustration. So if you're watching this right now, somewhat a couple days after this video drops, hopefully this event is still live. You guys need to just go in, use your charge TMs on everything. Do not let something slip through the cracks, because just like Pokemon like Nidoqueen, right, got an update a few seasons back, it became an absolute monster, and some of us, like me, are kicking myself that I didn't TM away frustration on my Shadow Nidoqueen, which I'm going to do now. But yeah, you guys want to take advantage of that. Now, when it comes to Lugia, I think the big question a lot of you guys may have is it good, firstly, and which league is it going to be good in? Because we're only getting one. So you want to choose carefully where you decide to go with this. Now, thankfully, Shadow Lugia is definitely going to be the combat power far under what's required for the Great League, which means if you decide to use it in Great League for a bit and then move it up to Ultra League and then Master League, you guys can go that route. But we're going to kind of talk about how it's doing in the Great League, Ultra League, and Master League, so you guys can make a little better informed decision for yourself. So what I like to do here is I go to the team builder. This, for me, is one of the best ways to visualize how this Pokemon performs against itself when it comes to the normal variant or the Shadow variant or the IVs. I do that a lot too when it comes to Pokemon. So we got, and also you guys want to do the advanced right here. You want to go to advanced, you want to scroll down, make the scorecard length 80, and include Shadow Pokemon. This is going to give you a lot better visual look at what's happening under the hood. So we have normal Lugia here, Dragon Tail, Aeroblast, Sky Attack. Yes, it will be worth using an Elite Charge TM to give yourself Aeroblast. That move is absolutely awesome. And then we have Shadow Lugia here. So we go ahead and rate the team. And what this does is it's going to give us a comparison. As you guys can see, the X's and O's right here. These X's are stuff that Lugia is going to beat, and the O's are stuff that's going to beat Lugia. It comes as no surprise, right? Bastiodon's beating it. So what we're trying to do is compare what the normal Lugia wins against compared to Shadow Lugia, and is it worth using that? Like I said, you're already going to have it available to use in the Great League, so if you want to use it then for a bit, feel free to do so. But right off the bat, what we're noticing is stuff like Whiscash and Wigglytuff, which are pretty common. Charm is going to be shredding through when it comes to the extra damage, so the Shadow Lugia is on the right here, as you guys can see. So Shadow Lugia is going to lose. This is going to be the Blizzard. If we can take a look here, the Blizzard, if it lands, is going to do 88%, which is quite a bit. And if we take a look at the normal, the Blizzard is going to do 73%. So about 15% less right there when it comes to the damage, which really starts to add up, and as well, Charm is taking it out. Now, when it comes to the other coverages, Charm right here, Clefable, can beat the Shadow one. But a lot of stuff is very similar. Another big one is going to be Pelipper. But what you're noticing is the Charmers can beat the Shadow one. That's due to the taking 20%, roughly 20% more damage from everything. So Charm is going to shred through it. Now, Alolan Marowak sadly can beat it as well. But granted, right, if it has Hex, Shadow Bone, it should be able to beat a Psychic Pokemon. But right here, not too different when it comes to the matchups. The big one is basically a Blizzard landing from Whiscash and then Charmers. So an open Great League is not going to be too bad. Now, when it comes to the Ultra League here, we can go ahead and change it to Ultra League. And then go ahead and rate it. And what we'll see here is a lot of matchups are very, very similar. Somewhat Shadow picks up some extra ones. So in the Ultra League, Shadow Lugia now picks up the Clefable matchup instead of the normal Lugia losing to it. Or it picks up the XL Skarmory right there. Or in this case, it loses to the Charizard. And then here's some of the losses. It's going to lose to Nidoqueen and Togekiss, and it's also going to lose to Granbull and Galvantula. While this thing still hits like an absolute truck, you have some more matchups that you lose to compared to the normal one. So this is kind of a back and forth when it comes to the pickups. And then finally, which is where I think you guys should try to focus on, and like I said, you guys can stair-step your way up to Master League if you want to get some use out of it, if you want to use it in the Great League. But Master League, Shadow Lugia picks up a lot of great wins here. So we can see the Yveltal matchup. Shadow Lugia can win that in the one shield. If we pick this up right here, you guys will notice Shadow Lugia wins that in the one. Even though Dark Pulse is doing super effective damage, if you can just land these Sky Attacks and Dragon Tails, you can take out the Yveltal in a fresh fight in the one shield. It also picks up Zekrom and Zarude. It also picks up Zacian. It also picks up Metagross and Heatran, all of which are pretty popular, especially the Zacian. But yeah, so Shadow Lugia has the same coverages that normal Lugia has, and then picks up a bunch of other key stuff, Metagross being one. Heatran's kind of spicy, but the Zacian and the Yveltal is a very nice pickup, and that's just because of the raw damage from Dragon Tail and Sky Attack, which is really cool to see. Can also beat Zekrom as well, which is kind of crazy. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one right here. So Shadow Lugia can win the 1 and the 2 shield against a Zekrom right here. Granted, Dragon Tail is going to be the main source of damage right here because of Dragon typing, right? While resisting because of Electric typing those flying moves. But my goodness, Shadow Lugia is going to become a monster for the Master League Classic. And if you're one of those people who have a lot of XL candy as well, maybe looking at Open Master League might be for you. But I know a lot of us, it's just going to be Master League Classic. So what my game plan is with my Shadow Lugia is to firstly have fun with it in the Great League for a bit, and then once I accumulate enough candy and Stardust in order to power it up to Master League, I might do that. Now another question you might have is going to be IVs. So let's go ahead, if we take out the normal Lugia, and we'll see what this Shadow Lugia is. I'm guessing it's going to be 100% IV. Yeah, 100% IV. Let's go ahead and just add in, you guys can do this too. Let's go ahead and add in a Lugia that's Shadow. We're going to change the IVs. Let's do something random that someone may have that they're watching right now. If this is you, shout out to you. So we got 11, let's say 13, and 12. Is it still going to be worth it? We're doing this live right here to see if this is still worth it when it comes to the pickups and the matches. So some things right here, the Yveltal matchup is going to be a little different. Let's see how that plays out. Maybe we're not doing as much damage. Yeah, it's so close. Look at that. Oh my gosh, 1 HP in a dream right there. That's incredibly close and negligible, to be honest, if the Yveltal survives with 1 HP. I know it'll happen to someone. But as you can see, a lot of the matchups are very, 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 very similar. So everything basically besides Yveltal, which is 1 HP difference, which is, as you guys know, is going to be negligible, is going to be very interesting because you can then just use the Shadow Lugia that you have, no matter what the IV is. You guys can plug it in for yourselves as well. If you guys want to do, actually, let's just add another one. Let's add another Lugia here. If you want to do Shadow Lugia, let's say you have a 13, 15, 12. That one's yours, right? You guys can do this for yourselves. Compare it to the rank one, which is going to be 100% IV. And you can see the coverages are all very, very similar. And this is what I like to do when it comes to understand how this Pokemon is going to be matching up against the meta. Now, if Lugia, a different IV, was completely getting O's down here, right? Losing all of these different matchups, that's something that's going to be a red flag for you. But from right here, it looks like the IVs aren't going to matter too much. I mean, 1 HP being a difference from you powering up a Shadow Lugia to pick up a lot more coverages than compared to normal Lugia is probably going to be worth it. So that's when it comes to Lugia. You guys can do this for yourselves across all the leagues, just like I have. But this event is, we don't know when it's ending, so you guys want to take advantage of that. Started yesterday, November 9th, and we don't know when it is ending, but it's very cool. And again, do not forget to TM away frustration. Now, It's going to be a long video when it comes to in-depth stuff. We also have the Kanto Cup. So Kanto Cup is out, same with Master League Premier Cup Classics. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Now, Kanto Cup has probably been the most reused cup that we have seen yet. To be fair, I think the meta up until right now, what we're seeing, has been very good in the past. Some key things that I want to call out to you guys. Electrode has been one of the best safe swaps before Nidoqueen came out, basically. But Electrode was really nice on safe swap. You have discharge, foul play. You can do a lot of neutral damage against everything. But because of Nidoqueen coming out, and Seeking as well. Seeking, I invested in it a long time ago, but you do want to have triple legacy if you are going to go with this. I took the leap of faith about a year ago and did it myself. So I have Poison Jab, Drill Run, and Icy Wind, which is great. But you guys can roll with Seeking if you guys haven't already. Kanto Cup seems to keep coming back. But what we have here is Chansey now, with XO Chansey, is now the #1 ranked Pokemon, which I don't know how I feel about this. I personally am not a fan of these extremely hyper bulky Pokemon that really don't do anything other than waste the clock. And it even beats a Shadow Machamp. Like, how is that even possible? Let me guess. Oh, Shadow Machamp wins the 1 and the 2. That makes sense, but it loses in the 0. That's probably because of a Psychic landing. Okay, so Shadow Machamp can still beat. See, this is why you want to click on the fights right here, because at first I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So the only way XL Chansey can win is if it lands Psychic. So your Shadow Machamp should eat through this Chansey right here, which is perfectly fine. But Nidoqueen, no surprise, this thing is going to be dominant in the meta because of the update. We also have some other great Pokemon, which I think you guys should invest in if you haven't already. That being Lapras with Ice Shard, Surf, and Skull Bash. It's absolutely solid in the Great League. Beedrill as well is another really, really nice one that's very underlooked, especially when it comes to Safe Swap because of Drill Run, that Community Day move that it had. It allows it to hit for super effective against Alolan Marowaks and Nidoqueens, which are going to be very common in the meta. On top of that, when this thing gets ahead on energy, it can potentially get to 2 and really force that 2-to-1 shield or flip the mid-game matchup that you might see. And X-Scissor as well does really nice against Hypno when you're loaded on energy as well to do some of that extra chip damage. Now, Pidgeot sadly got a little debuff when it comes to its performance because of the Feather Dance update, so it's not as good, but it still does pretty well. It still walls Alolan Marowak, still does well. Can actually beat a Lapras, which is cool. Still does well against Snorlax and Hypno, all of which are going to be very, very common. And as you guys can see, it's just a lot of poisons. Alolan Sandslash is another nice one, or Dugong if you guys haven't invested in that yet. That's going to be double legacy here with Ice Shard and Icy Wind. Makes it extremely bulky, and if there's no electric types, like we see a lack of electrodes in the meta because of Nidoqueen, Dugong could really come in and do very well in this meta. But overall, I think the Kanto Cup is very fun. If you guys have been participating in Go Battle League over the past couple seasons, you should already have your roster pretty much set, as a lot of these are great in Open Great League, and they're solid in the Kanto Cups. You can just rinse and repeat, get you guys some rewards, and climb in rating. Now, the one league that we had come back was Master League Premier Cup Classic. We haven't seen this league in well over a year. They just took it out of Go Battle League. No reason why, it just vanished one season. This was consistently used in preseason, season 1, 2, and 3. It was there, I think, the whole time. So if you guys want to see some older videos on some of the teams I ran back then, you guys can find that on the channel. Just type in ZyoniK Master League Premier Cup Classic or Master League Premier Cup, and you'll see some stuff from a year ago. But there's a lot of cool things here, but we have a rotation. It's like a square of coverage, basically. So we have the dragons, or pseudo-dragons, so Gyarados being like a pseudo-dragon because of Dragon Breath. We have the anti-dragons, which is going to be stuff like the Togekiss and Sylveon and Mamoswine. Then we have the anti-dragons, which is going to be like Metagross, Excadrill. Snorlax can kind of go into there depending on the energy, or Magnezone, right? So your steals. And then you have your anti-dragons, if that makes sense. Follow me around the square, right? We got dragons, we got charmers, we got steals, and then we have fighters, right? Anti-steals or grounds. So that's going to be stuff like Garchomp can kind of fulfill that when it comes to coverage of Metagross, but the two big ones is going to be like Machamp and Conkeldurr, which yeah, Conkeldurr right here, which is pretty interesting. Conkeldurr has access to Stone Edge, which can really hurt a Togekiss if you land it right there. So be on the lookout for that. But you guys can kind of see this is a square coverage, which means you're going to see a lot of teams that are very double heavy in the back, whether that's double steel, so Metagross and Excadrill in the back, or double dragons, maybe Dragonite and Garchomp, or double fairies, right, Togekiss and Sylveon. You're going to see a lot of that. So hopefully your team can kind of handle that, or just expect that. If you were fully countered on the lead and you're running double protection in the back, they may have double coverage for you in the back, which is where you want to maybe try to mix it up. Maybe mix in a Snorlax or mix in a Gyarados on safe swaps, so it's a bit better when it comes to potentially flipping the mid game or getting yourself shield advantage. Now I'm going to be obviously doing some battles with this stuff. I have all of these Pokemon. This was my first time fighting in the Master League was in the Premier Cup because I have all of these. The only one I don't have, I think, is Excadrill and Sylveon, but the rest of these I have. So this is going to be fun. I'm excited to dive back into it, and I do have, where is it? It's way down here. Haxorus. I do have Haxorus as well, so be on the lookout for that. I powered it up the Sunday before the league rotation where Master League left, way back in the day, and then it never came back. So you guys actually never got to see me use my Haxorus that I powered up on a Sunday for it to be gone for a year after that Monday, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun, so I hope you guys are enjoying these metas. We got Great League, or Kanto Cup, and we have the Master League Premier Cup Classic. Again, do not forget to TM away frustration, my goodness. And if you're watching this and the event is gone, I am so sorry, and I do not know when the next one is. I wish Niantic was a bit more transparent about it. Maybe they give us 4 dates a year to be on the lookout for. I don't know. Or just take away this feature altogether. I would love that. I would love to take away this gimmick of you have to wait for an event to TM away frustration, because it's very frustrating. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.